called the hole in the wall experiments, and I'll have to really rush through this. There are a set of experiments. The first one was done in New Delhi in 1999, and what we did over there was pretty much simple. I had an office in those days which bordered a slum, an urban slum. So there was a dividing wall between our office and the urban slum. So I cut a hole inside that wall, which is how this got the name hole in the wall, and put a pretty powerful PC into that hole, sort of embedded into the wall, so that its monitor was sticking out at the other end. A touchpad similarly embedded into the wall. Put in high-speed internet. Put the Internet Explorer there. Put it on altavista.com in those days, and just left it there. And this is what we saw. So that was my office in IIT. Here is the hole in the wall. About 8 hours later, we found this kid. To the right is this 8-year-old child who, and to his left is a 6-year-old girl who's not very tall. And what he was doing was he was teaching her to browse. So it sort of raised more questions than it answered. Is this real? Does the language matter? Because he's not supposed to know English. Will the computer last, or will they break it and steal it? And did anyone teach them? The last question was what everybody said, that, I mean, they must have poked their head over the wall and asked the people in your office, can you show me how to do it? And somebody taught him. So I took the experiment out of Delhi and repeated it. This time in a city called Shivpuri, in the center of India, where I was assured that nobody had ever taught anybody anything. So it was a warm day, and the hole in the wall was on that decrepit old building. This is the first kid who came there. Later on turned out to be a 13-year-old school dropout. He came there and he started to fiddle around with the touchpad. Very quickly noticed that when he moves his finger on the touchpad, something moves on the screen. And later on he told me, I have never seen a television where you can do something. So he figured that out. It took him over 2 minutes to figure out that he was doing things to the television. And then, as he was doing that, he made an accidental click by hitting the touchpad. You'll see him do that. He did that, and the Internet Explorer changed page. 8 minutes later, he looked from his hand to the screen, and he was browsing. He was going back and forth. When that happened, he started calling all the neighborhood children, like children would, let's say, come and see what's happening over here. And by the evening of that day, 70 children were all browsing. So 8 minutes and an embedded computer seemed to be all that we needed there.